There are more than 500 species of shark patrolling the world's oceans, and the vast majority of them want absolutely nothing to do with you. Most are harmless, some are gentle giants, but a handful are large, powerful, and equipped with teeth built to shear flesh, and those are the ones that have earned the shark its terrifying reputation. The question is, which ones truly deserve your fear, and which are all reputation and no bite? So, we are going to do this properly, counting down 10 sharks ranked from the least dangerous to the most dangerous of them all. And we begin with a shark you have probably swum near without ever knowing it. Starting at number 10 is the nurse shark, one of the most easygoing sharks in the sea. Nurse sharks are slow, sluggish bottom dwellers, often found resting motionless on the sea floor in warm, shallow waters, sometimes piled together in groups. They can grow to a respectable 3 meters or more, but their temperament could not be more different from the ocean's famous killers. They feed by suction, vacuuming up small fish, crustaceans, and shellfish from the bottom. And they have small mouths and rows of tiny, crushing teeth rather than the shearing blades of a predator. Because they are so docile and so easy to approach, nurse sharks are a favorite of divers and snorkelers, who often swim right alongside them. And that, ironically, is the only real way to get hurt. Nearly every recorded nurse shark bite comes from a human grabbing, poking, or stepping on one, provoking a defensive snap. When they do bite, they are famous for clamping down and refusing to let go, which can require medical help to release, but there is not a single confirmed human fatality on record. There is one more detail that makes them so harmless in practice. They are almost entirely nocturnal, spending the daylight hours dozing in caves and under ledges, and becoming active only at night to hunt for slow-moving prey. The nurse shark is the perfect reminder that a shark's size tells you very little about the danger it actually poses. At number 9 is a shark that looks like it belongs in a horror film, yet rarely lives up to the image, the sand tiger shark. With its mouth perpetually open, revealing a jumble of long, jagged, needle-like teeth pointing in every direction, the sand tiger looks like one of the most menacing predators in the ocean. It is the shark you picture when you imagine a monster of the deep. But its fearsome grin is deceiving. The sand tiger is a slow, deliberate hunter of small fish and rays, and it has a remarkably calm disposition around people. It even has a unique trick, gulping air at the surface and holding it in its stomach to hover motionless in the water like a submarine, something no other shark can do. Despite dozens of recorded encounters with humans, the sand tiger has never been responsible for a confirmed human death from an unprovoked attack. Its appearance has made it a star of public aquariums around the world, where its terrifying looks thrill visitors, while its gentle behavior keeps its handlers safe. There is even a dark secret to how sand tigers are born, one of the most brutal beginnings in the animal kingdom. Inside the mother, the first embryos to develop actually devour their own siblings in the womb, so that only 1 or 2 of the strongest pups from each uterus are ever born. It is a savage start to life for an animal that grows up to be one of the ocean's gentlest giants. It is living proof that in the shark world, looks can be extremely deceiving. At number 8, we reach a shark that can actually deliver a real bite, the blacktip shark. Named for the distinctive black tips on its fins, this is a fast, energetic, mid-sized shark, usually around 1.5 to 2 meters long, and it lives exactly where people love to be, in the warm, shallow surf close to shore. That overlap is the whole story. Blacktips are responsible for a significant share of the minor shark bites that happen at popular beaches, particularly in places like Florida. They feed on small schooling fish in the surf zone, and in murky, churning water, they occasionally mistake a hand or a foot for a darting fish, delivering a quick, slashing bite before instantly realizing their error and fleeing. The result is usually a nasty wound that needs stitches, but rarely anything worse. Blacktips are skittish and easily spooked, and they have no interest in humans as prey. In fact, across all the recorded blacktip bites, there is not a single confirmed fatality. There is a spectacular side to the blacktip, too. They are famous for their acrobatic feeding behavior, spinning rapidly through schools of fish and leaping clear of the water, rotating several times in the air before splashing back down. A stunning display that draws them into the same shallow waters where people swim. They are the classic case of mistaken identity, a shark responsible for plenty of frightening moments, but very little genuine harm. At number 7 is a shark whose bizarre appearance hides a surprisingly gentle nature, the great hammerhead. It is the largest of the hammerhead species, capable of reaching over 5 meters in length, and its unmistakable head, flattened and stretched out into a wide T shape, makes it one of the most recognizable fish in the sea. That strange head is a masterpiece of evolution. It is packed with sensory organs that let the shark detect the faint electrical signals of prey hidden under the sand, and it acts like a wing, giving the hammerhead astonishing agility to pin its favorite food, stingrays, against the seafloor. For all its size and power, though, the great hammerhead is not considered a major threat to people. Hammerheads tend to be wary of humans and generally keep their distance, and confirmed fatal attacks are essentially unheard of. Sadly, the far greater danger runs the other way. Great hammerheads are heavily overfished for their fins and are now critically endangered. It is a genuinely dangerous-looking animal that has far more to fear from us than we ever will from it. Let's take a quick break before we reach the truly dangerous sharks in the top 6. If you are enjoying this deep dive, hitting subscribe genuinely helps the channel grow. Now, back to the water, where the sharks start to get serious. At number 6 is the fastest shark in the ocean, a living torpedo, the shortfin mako. Built for pure speed, with a sleek, muscular, bullet-shaped body, the shortfin mako can reach burst speeds of around 70 kilometers per hour, faster than any other shark alive. It uses that blistering pace to run down some of the quickest fish in the sea, including tuna and swordfish, and it is known to leap spectacularly clear of the water. That speed and power are exactly what make it potentially dangerous. While the mako does not often encounter swimmers, it has been responsible for a number of attacks, many of them involving fishermen and spearfishers, where a hooked or provoked mako becomes a genuinely formidable adversary. Its combination of speed, strength, and sharp, slender teeth means that on the rare occasions it does bite, it can inflict serious harm. The mako is also one of the few sharks known to be warm-bodied, able to keep its muscles hotter than the surrounding water, which supercharges its speed and power like a built-in engine. That biological advantage makes it not just fast, but explosively strong, capable of the kind of sudden, violent movements that can catch even an experienced diver completely off guard. It is not a shark that actively hunts humans, but it is one you absolutely do not want to corner or provoke, because few animals in the ocean can move the way a mako can. At number 5 is a shark of the wide open ocean, a wanderer of the deep blue, the blue shark. Slender, graceful, and a striking deep indigo along its back, the blue shark is one of the most widespread sharks on the planet, roaming vast stretches of open ocean far from shore. For most of its life, it feeds on squid and small fish, and it is generally curious rather than aggressive. But that curiosity is exactly where the danger lies. Because blue sharks live in the open sea, they are one of the species most likely to encounter people in the worst possible situations: shipwrecks, plane crashes, and other disasters at sea. In those scenarios, blue sharks are known to gather around survivors, and they have been implicated in a number of fatal attacks in open water. They are also often the first sharks to arrive at any potential meal in the open ocean. On an ordinary day at the beach, you will almost never encounter one. Blue sharks are also among the most traveled animals in the ocean, capable of crossing entire ocean basins, riding the currents thousands of kilometers on migrations that can loop across the Atlantic and back. But for anyone stranded in the open water, the elegant, inquisitive blue shark can become a very real threat. At number 4 is a shark with one of the darkest reputations in maritime history, the oceanic whitetip. By the raw numbers of recorded beach attacks, it might not seem to belong this high on the list. But those official statistics hide a horrifying truth. The oceanic whitetip is a bold, persistent predator of the open ocean, and for centuries it has been the shark that finds sailors and airmen lost at sea. The famous ocean explorer Jacques Cousteau called it the most dangerous of all sharks. Its most infamous association is with maritime disasters of the Second World War, where survivors of sunk ships and downed planes, floating helplessly for hours or days, were set upon by these sharks in the open water. The sinking of one warship in particular became legendary for the oceanic whitetips that gathered around the hundreds of men in the sea. Unlike sharks that bite once and flee, the oceanic whitetip is relentless and unafraid, circling and testing its target with grim determination. It is a stark reminder that the deadliest shark encounters have never really happened at the beach, but far out in the deep, where help is nowhere to be found. At number 3, we reach the first member of the notorious Big Three, the tiger shark. Growing to over 5 meters and named for the dark, vertical stripes on the bodies of younger animals, the tiger shark is second only to the great white in the number of recorded fatal attacks on humans, with well over 30 confirmed deaths on record. What makes it so dangerous is its complete lack of discrimination about what it eats. The tiger shark has earned the grim nickname, the garbage can of the sea, because its stomach contents have included fish, turtles, birds, seals, smaller sharks, and a bizarre catalog of human trash, from license plates to tires. This means that, unlike a great white, which often bites a human once and leaves, recognizing its mistake, a tiger shark is far more likely to treat a person as a genuine potential meal. It hunts in shallow coastal waters, often at night, and its powerful jaws and uniquely serrated teeth can crush through a sea turtle's shell with ease. There is something almost prehistoric about the way a tiger shark investigates the world. Rather than avoiding unfamiliar objects, it approaches them, and its method of investigation is simply to bite. That fearless curiosity, combined with its enormous size and indiscriminate appetite, is exactly what makes it so much more dangerous to a swimmer than most other sharks, because to a tiger shark, almost anything in the water is worth a taste. Curious, aggressive, and willing to eat almost anything, the tiger shark is one of the very few sharks that truly earns its fearsome reputation. At number 2 is the shark that many experts consider the most unpredictable and aggressive of all, The bull shark. It may not be the biggest of the big three, but pound for pound it might be the most dangerous. The bull shark is a stocky, powerful, short-tempered predator, and it has one extraordinary ability that sets it apart from almost every other shark. It can survive in fresh water. Bull sharks have been found hundreds, even thousands of kilometers up rivers, swimming in the Amazon, the Mississippi, and beyond, which means they turn up in exactly the places people least expect a shark, in rivers, lakes, and estuaries where children swim. This dramatically increases their contact with humans. Bull sharks also possess one of the strongest bites of any shark relative to their size, and they are famously bold and aggressive, often hunting in the murky, shallow water where visibility is poor and mistakes are easy. Many experts believe the bull shark is actually responsible for a large number of attacks blamed on other species, precisely because it lurks where no one is looking for it. The secret to its freshwater ability lies in its kidneys and other organs, which can adjust to hold on to salt, allowing the bull shark to move seamlessly between the ocean and rivers in a way almost no other large shark can manage. Some scientists have even suggested that the bull shark, lurking in a shallow, murky river, may be the real culprit behind some of history's most famous shark attacks, incidents that helped inspire the very idea of the man-eating shark. Powerful, fearless, and able to strike in fresh water and salt, the bull shark is a serious contender for the most dangerous shark of all, and, at number 1, the undisputed king of the ocean's predators, the shark that has haunted the human imagination more than any other, the great white. By every measure that matters, the great white sits at the top. It is responsible for more recorded unprovoked attacks on humans than any other shark, with over 300 documented incidents and around 59 confirmed fatalities, far more than any other species. It is the largest predatory fish on Earth, with the biggest individuals reaching 6 meters or more, armed with rows of large, triangular, serrated teeth designed to shear through flesh and bone. The great white is a supreme ambush hunter, often striking from below in a single explosive burst of speed, hitting seals and sea lions with such force that it can launch its entire body clear of the water. Most attacks on humans are now believed to be cases of mistaken identity. A surfer on a board, seen from below, looks remarkably like a seal, and the great white often releases a person after a single exploratory bite. But with an animal this size and this powerful, a single bite is more than enough to be fatal. Part of what makes the great white such an effective hunter is its array of senses. It can detect a single drop of blood diluted in a vast volume of water, and special organs in its snout pick up the tiny electrical fields given off by living creatures, letting it home in on a heartbeat from a distance. And, despite its fearsome image, the great white is now understood to be a curious, even cautious animal, often investigating before committing, which is precisely why so many bite victims survive to tell the story. Intelligent, enormous, and perfectly evolved over millions of years into the ocean's ultimate predator, the great white earns the number 1 spot without the slightest challenge. Here is the truth that this countdown reveals. Even the great white, the deadliest shark of all, is responsible for only a small handful of human deaths each year. Around the world, sharks as a whole kill fewer than 10 people annually, while humans kill an estimated 100 million sharks every single year, mostly for their fins. The real story is not how dangerous sharks are to us, but how dangerous we have become to them. They are ancient, magnificent predators that have ruled the oceans since before the dinosaurs, and they deserve our respect far more than our fear. Of course, there are other dangerous sharks I could have included, so tell me in the comments, which shark would you least want to meet in open water? Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.